Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to, I guess you could say, the first episode. Although this is like really, see, this is actually really season 5, like episode 6, I think I have it. But who cares? But this is gonna be the first week of where we'll be coming our weekly dive into college and the NFL. So let's go ahead. As always, what we do here on the podcast, if you are new, we start with college within the NFL. So why don't we start with recapping last week's week 2 of the college football season and look forward ahead to week 3 of college football. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what happened in week 2 of the college football season. Arkansas beat South Carolina 44-30. Alabama had a close one against Texas 20-19. Real wild plays in that one, including one of the craziest plays you ever gonna see where they called roughing the passer with targeting, and then they went and they saw it off and they took off both of targeting and roughing the passer, and it looked like the ball didn't even come close to the line of scrimmage, which would have been intentional grounding, and there's a lot of stuff in that Alabama Texas game, which was incredible. But Alabama kicked the last second field goal to win it. Penn State beat Ohio 46-10. Wake Forest beat Vanderbilt 45-25. I think the starting quarterback for Wake Forest came back last week, so that's good for them. Ohio State beat Arkansas State 45-12. Miami of Florida beat Southern Miss 30-7. NC State beat Charleston Southern 55-3. We got a lot of these games where these teams are playing these, FCS schools. Utah beat Southern Utah 73-7. Clemson beat Furman 35-12. Um, Tennessee in overtime beat Pittsburgh 34-27. App State shocked the world again, beat Texas A&M 27-14. Georgia beat Stanford 33-0. Michigan State beat Akron 52-0. Kentucky beat Florida 26-16. Kentucky, but another win against the Florida Gators. I think that's 2 in the last 3 years. I think maybe something like that. Maybe even 2 in the last 4 years, something like that. But this time that's when they won. They won at Kentucky. They won in the swamp. Mississippi beat Central Arkansas 59-3. Oklahoma beat Kent State 33-3. Oklahoma State beat Arizona State 34-17. The Fighting Herm Edwardses are still having a problem. As of late, last couple of years, really hoping they still do keep Herm Edwards at this time. USC beat Stanford 41-28. Michigan beat Hawaii after a lengthy rain delay, or I shouldn't say rain delay, lengthy lightning delay, 56-10. Oregon beat Eastern Washington 70-14, and BYU beat Baylor 26-20 in final overtime. A game not um, shown here was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Right, they lost to the Marshall Thundering Herd, which was just absolutely insane. Another big win for Marshall. This is the second time they beat somebody in the top five, on the road, and it was just for Notre Dame fans, which I am one of. It was just one of the most heart wrenching losses you're ever gonna have. Uh, Starting quarterback Tyler Buckner injured his shoulder. He wasn't playing well to begin with, so now they're gonna go to Drew Pine, and hopefully with Drew Pine, they have a more effective passing game. We got some games that are looking good. We still got some, other games as well. Like we got Kentucky taking on Youngstown State. I don't know. I just don't know why. Scott Frost from Nebraska was fired after he lost again, and they're going to be taking on Oklahoma. Another rivalry renewed. That's good, but maybe it's not good for Nebraska. But they got to face the Oklahoma Sooners. Baylor is taking on Texas State. Georgia takes on South Carolina as some teams are starting to get into their conference play. Michigan is facing Connecticut. Penn State as Auburn. That'll be the 2 o'clock game, or 2 p.m. Eastern, or maybe no, actually it'll be the 3. It says 3:30 p.m. So it'll be the 3:30 p.m. Eastern game on CBS. Oregon and BYU, that's going to be a nice stage set. Can BYU see? BYU is doing the right thing. They're playing these teams, like Baylor, and I think they can see they played in week 1. If you can, they play South Florida, where that was this, but they're playing teams. They're playing Baylor. They're playing Oregon because they know that they need to get a good resume to try to get into the college football playoff. So now they're playing Oregon, and Oregon did lose big to Georgia, but they're still a Pac-12 team, and they're still ranked. They're ranked 25th. So BYU, this is a good job. If they want to make it, they have to run the table. So because they're not in the conference and no conference games, so they'll need to do this. The 20th ranked Ole Miss, Mississippi Rebels takes on Georgia Tech. Alabama takes on Louisiana Monroe. Wake Forest takes on Liberty. Ohio State takes on Toledo. Akron is at Tennessee. NC State has Texas Tech coming in. Arkansas playing Buff for Oklahoma State. Missouri State for Arkansas. South Florida for the Florida Gators. Pittsburgh for Western Michigan. And Michigan State goes to Washington. And this is after we've had Washington State take on Wisconsin. So, oh man. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got some. I don't know why this is a totally different thing. So I don't know why they have it like this. But 5 more games left to go. Texas at UTSA. Clemson, or I should say UTSA is at Texas. Excuse me. LA Tech, Louisiana Tech is at Clemson. The Miami Hurricanes going to Texas A&M, who had a shocking loss themselves last week. Another one, kind of a big shocking loss week. They're gonna take on. They're gonna be fighting down there in Gig'em. San Diego State is going to be at Utah, and USC Trojans, who kind of surprising under the new head coach, first year. That's surprising the world. They'll be at home against Fresno State. So there you have it. Those are the games of Week 3 in the college football season. The biggest game is obviously BYU and Oregon, although Penn State and Auburn looks to be pretty good showdown as well. Now to the NFL. Start with last Thursday's opening night game with the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. Buffalo Bills beat the Rams 31-10. Seemingly headed from the start in control of that game. There were but also there were definitely some turnovers that in that first quarter and a half, maybe a little bit of jitters for both teams, both turning it over. But the Bills threw away those jitters away, and Josh Allen was just amazing. That's why he's the best quarterback in this game right now, and just amazing. And the Buffalo Bills beat the Rams 31-10. Now to Sunday, the Eagles beat the Lions 38-35, but Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions came fighting back after they were down by about 17 points. They came back and they made this a game, you know, big time, 35 points. But the Eagles kept holding control of the game and they won 38-35. In a driving rainstorm, my Chicago Bears beat the 49ers 19-10. Trey Lance did not look good. Neither did Justin Fields for that matter. But he had two other plays, scored a touchdown, and we had a 19-10 win for the Bears over the 49ers. In overtime, the Steelers beat the Bengals 23-20. It seemed like that the one thing coming from this game, other than the injury to T.J. Watt, and he's still getting opinions. That's what I heard, was that he doesn't need surgery, and so he'll just miss like 6 weeks. Let it heal on his arm, but we'll see like that. And then Cody Rhodes tore his pec, and he's going to be out for a pretty long time. He did have surgery for it. So yeah, the story here was that in overtime, with the Bengals punted maybe too early and left some time on the clock for the Steelers to them go down and kick a last-second field goal to win and beat the Bengals. Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions, 5 turnovers altogether. Not a great day for the Bengals as they lose to the Steelers. Now that's not a great day for the Patriots, but a great opening day game for the Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins. Going for it on the 4th and 7 and scoring a touchdown, uh, amazing. So they're gonna be going. It looks like they might have some stuff down there in Miami. They face the Patriots, and they beat them 20-17, 20-7, excuse me. Not a bit of a revenge game. It was a revenge game. Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers hosted the Cleveland Browns. Another one where the Panthers came back and took the lead over the Browns, but the Browns had time enough to go down, kick a field goal, and win the game. Although, again, some controversy in this game, as some people were wondering if there was a fake spike and a spike, if there was an illegal spike that happened. We don't know, but they did not call it. So the Browns had a chance to win, and they did, 26-24. They say ties are like kissing your sister, but sometimes your sister might be hot. And that's what happened last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as their tie with the Detroit Lions and kept them and got them into the playoffs. Well, that happened this year. The Colts and Texans went to a tie at 20 the first week of the season. Could that help the Colts, or maybe even the Texans? Matter of fact, get into the playoffs. We'll wait and see. But it's a tie game. Colts 20, Texans 20. Another last-second field goal as the Saints beat the Falcons 27-26. The Falcons were up big in this game, and the Saints came back again. Another comeback for the team. James Wilson played very well, and the Saints beat the Falcons 27-26. Ravens beat the Jets 24-9. Lamar Jackson was okay, but he made plays from the pocket, and that's what he's gonna have to do if he wants a fully guaranteed contract. He turned down a 5-year, $250 million contract with $133 million guaranteed. He is dumb. He is without question dumb. You don't. That's crazy. Because he doesn't deserve a fully guaranteed contract. The guaranteed money was perfect. It's perfectly in his range. But he's going to bet on himself, and we'll see what happens. First game was all right, but he was playing the Jets. 24-9, Ravens beat the Jets. Someone who looked good, Carson Wentz. Let's hope he can get back on track. He beat the Jaguars against the Commanders 28-22. The new look Minnesota Vikings You know, Kevin O'Connell coming from that Los Angeles Rams offense looked really good against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, yeah, not so good. You know, dropped pass on the first play of the game for Christian Watson from Aaron Rodgers. So, but they got the Bears this week, so we'll get to that in a minute. But the Vikings beat the Packers 23-7. The New York Giants beat the Tennessee Titans 21-20. How about this? Shaquan, Saquon, why do I call him Shaquan? Saquon Barkley did wonderful. Came back, he had over 100 yards rushing, scored a touchdown in the game-winning two-point conversion, and the Titans drove the field and had a chance to win it, but the kicker missed it. A lot of missed kicks for the kickers this week. But the Giants beat the Tennessee Titans 21-20. Chargers beat the Raiders 24-19. The Chiefs just bum rushed the Cardinals 44-21. And let me tell you, the score not even close. Not even close to what it is. But the Chiefs, and their kicker got injured, and the safety Justin Reed had to play. So whatever it was, for the Chiefs. The Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football beat the Cowboys 19-3. Dak Prescott got injured once again, hurt his thumb after the game. Jerry Jones said that he's gonna need surgery and he's gonna be out for a little while. And then it was 68 weeks, and then it's come out since then that maybe he won't be that hurt, and he's only gonna miss 3 to 4 weeks. So they're not putting him on injured reserve. So that's just gonna be interesting. And then the Seattle Seahawks, they shocked the world and they beat the Broncos 17-16. Although most people would tell you that the reason why they won is because the Broncos um, the Broncos lost the game. The Seahawks didn't win it because they had so many you know mess ups. Went down into the red zone 3 times and came away with no points. And then the last drive of the game where they let the clock run down and they took it and they had the kicker kick a 64-yard field goal. Which listen, he's got the leg, and if it was and if the time wasn't the time, right? If it was like seconds going down, okay, yeah, you give it a try maybe. But when the tackle happened, it was 1 minute on the clock, and like they let almost the entire play clock run down, and they took a timeout with 20 seconds left just to do that. So uh, the Nathaniel Hackett has came out yesterday and said, well, obviously that was the wrong call, and we do it differently. But yeah, that doesn't make Broncos fans feel much better. So And now let's look ahead to week 2. It starts tomorrow night on Prime Video, the new home for Thursday night football. The Chargers taking on the Chiefs. That should be incredible. That what a game that is. Um, Chiefs coming looking amazing in Arizona. We get the Chargers coming off a win against the Las Vegas Raiders. That should be really fun to watch. Cannot wait to watch that one. Then we go to Sunday. The Patriots are at the Steelers. Can the Patriots get back on track and the Steelers keep it continue? Um, the Panthers at the Giants. Can the Giants keep on going wrong? And can the Panthers can they make up for their last second loss against Cleveland? Speaking of Cleveland, the Jets at the Browns. Can the Browns rebound? Can the Jets rebound? Especially without Zach Wilson. The coach at the Jaguars. The coach need to win the game. They have a tie. The Jaguars are still coming off of a loss at Washington, so we'll see about that. The Dolphins at the Raiders. This one seems to be pretty interesting because can the Dolphins go into the because for all purposes, the Ravens defense may not have been all of that great, even though they give up 9 points. May not have been all of that great looking from what everybody talks about. So we'll see if the Dolphins can take advantage of that with all of their speed and new speed weapons now. So we'll see what the Dolphins do at Baltimore. The Buccaneers at the Saints. We know what happens here. The Saints have beaten the Buccaneers 4 times since Tom Brady has come down there, right? I think there's 4 times since Tom Brady has come down there. Um, other than the playoff game with Brady did win, but yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Can the Buccaneers finally get one out of out of the chamber and beat the New Orleans Saints? Or the Saints is gonna keep on steamrolling the Buccaneers in this Tom Brady era? The Commanders are at the Detroit Lions. Detroit needs to come back up. They've got this like a great running game with DeAndre Swift, who ran for over 140 yards, and Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns. And then we'll see defensively because if Carson Wentz can throw for 300 yards on the Jaguars, he might be able to do it against the Lions. So this may be another shootout, in Detroit. The Seahawks will go to San Francisco. Trey Lance, after obviously he'll probably have better weather, in San Francisco or St. Clara, where they play. And the Seahawks, they'll have to um, coming off an emotional win, facing off against their former teammate, Russell Wilson. Now go to Seattle. Can they, you know, drive another stake into the heart for the 49ers? And if Trey Lance doesn't play well, will the calls for Jimmy Garoppolo be soon coming? If they're not already coming, we'll have to wait and see. The Falcons take the Rams. The Rams should get back on track. Even though the Falcons look great in their game against the New Orleans Saints, they should. It should be a game the Rams should win pretty easily. The Cardinals are going to be in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Kyler Murray and the boys, they need to get back on track. And same thing with the Raiders. Josh McDaniels needs to get his team together and try to rebound from their loss to the Chargers. The Texans are at the Broncos. First home game for Russell Wilson. Let's see what that happens. And Texans had the tie with the Colts, so they're looking for their first win. The Bengals are at the Cowboys. This looked to be one of the great games of week 2, but now with Dak Prescott out, this should be a pretty easy win for the Cincinnati Bengals, you would think. But if Joe Burrow is going to turn the ball over, you never know. They can keep the Cowboys in this game. Sunday Night Football, Bears and the Packers. When is the last time that the Bears went into Green Bay with a better record? I would think it would have to be 2010, right? It would have to be 2020 when they went in the last game of the season and the Bears were the division champions and the Packers were a wild card team, trying to get into the playoffs for a wild card. I think that might be the last time, but they're going to have some say here in this one. Bears want to know, Packers want to know on Sunday Night Football, and we have 2 Monday Night Football games. In the past, a couple years ago, they they would have 2 Monday Night Football games on week 1, but this one is on week 2 for some reason. I have no idea, but this is gonna be interesting. The Tennessee Titans are at the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen looking to continue his tour of scorching the earth with the flames of hate. I mean, they're not flames of hate, but whatever they are. It is something he's going to. And the Titans looking to get back in their good graces. They played on Monday Night Football last year, and the Titans beat them, but that was in Tennessee. Now they're in Buffalo. And the second Monday Night Football game is the Vikings against the Eagles. Um, the Eagles 1-0, Vikings 1-0, look good. Both teams um, sexy picks to win their division this year. And with the Cowboys, what they're going through now, maybe the Eagles could do it. And same thing with the Vikings, with the Packers, having with the Packers. So, should be a great game. 2 great Monday Night Football games to watch. That's going to be incredible. I'm going to have a tough time trying to figure out which one to watch, along with my WWE Raw. So, but yeah, there you have it. Week 2 of the National Football League starts tomorrow night. Chargers Chiefs. All right, y'all. It is back. It's so good to be back. Every Wednesday, we're going to recap the prior week's college and pro scene and we're going to preview the same thing, the next week's games. So it's fun to be back. It's good to be back every week. And as we get through the year, we'll try to talk about other things as well, as there are, we get into October, the baseball playoffs will be happening, and we get into November, the NBA season will be starting, and we'll add on to some things to it as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a real great season. I can't wait to see how it turns out. If you have not heard my predictions videos, or if you've not heard my predictions, you can go to youtube.com/AJTRIP, and there it's up there in audio form. But also here you can just search through wherever you're listening to this podcast. You can go back and find my predictions video, or well, I did a predictions video, but my predictions, whatever. I got to get back to you. There's a lot of things that are happening, so um, if I sound out of it, I apologize, but uh, I'll try to be better next week and better throughout the entire season. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.